In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
Court is now in session. We are here to determine whether the defendant is guilty or innocent. The trial is the state of New York versus Jay Gatsby. If Jay Gatsby is found innocent, he will be allowed entry into heaven. If he is found guilty, he will be sentenced to hell for eternal life. Is the prosecution ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is the defense ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
The jury and I would now like to hear opening statements from the prosecution.
Hello and good afternoon, Your Honor, members of the jury. My name is Archie Martinez, and I will be representing today the state of New York and the Wilsons. The defendant, Jay Gatsby, has been charged with second-degree murder and death of Myrtle Wilson, as he committed a high-speed hit-and-run on the victim. Myrtle had been hit by a yellow Rolls-Royce owned by Mr. Gatsby. Furthermore, he decided not to turn back or even stop his vehicle to check on Myrtle Wilson. Even more, Mr. Gatsby was blinded by non-existent love. Jay Gatsby loved the idea of being with her, but never actually loving her. Thus, I will show you today that Jay Gatsby is to be convicted of murder due to him and his passion of false love.
And now the defense.
Good afternoon, Your Honor and ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I'm Nicole LaRue, and it is my privilege to represent Jay Gatsby in the case before you today. My client has been charged with second-degree murder for the death of Myrtle Wilson in the Valley of Ashes. I'll present evidence to you that Jay Gatsby is innocent of the crime despite the fact that he did not return to the scene. Every action he made was out of true love for Daisy Buchanan.
Now will the prosecution please call forward their first witness?
I call forth Tom Buchanan.
Will Tom Buchanan please come forth to the stand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
You may be seated.
How true was the love between you and Daisy?
I love Daisy and she loves me. I buy her expensive things. We're raising a family together. I did everything for her just because I love her.
Did you find that she loved you more than she did with Gatsby?
Well, absolutely she was in love with Gatsby 5 years ago, but not anymore. She's in love with me now.
How much do you know about Mr. Gatsby?
I learned enough to know that he isn't afraid to do illegal actions to get wealth. He's definitely a bootlegger.
Would you say then, with the information, that Jay Gatsby never truly loved Daisy to begin with?
He only wanted Daisy to make himself look better.
Jay Gatsby was blinded by false love. Gatsby loved the idea of being with Daisy, but not the idea of her. He loved the dream of being with a person that had money, one that was born into a wealthy family, especially that of old money. He really just loved the money behind her, the money she carried with her. He wanted to be like Tom and Daisy, the dream of a great family, owning great land, and having extensive amounts of wealth. He chased this dream by inserting himself into something that should not have been touched. He basically tried to ruin an already great marriage, the great dream. This is something every American wants to happen to them. But Jay Gatsby would stop at nothing to get what he wanted. That being winning over Daisy's heart. He was chasing the American dream. But this was a dream that eluded him. The thought of such a dream consumed him, made him senselessly obsessed. While chasing her heart, Mr. Gatsby didn't care about anybody else and their welfare. He left a path of destruction behind him, a trail of death. Therefore, just as how one of the witnesses Giles Mitchell described Gatsby. This crime contains evidence that Gatsby is a pathological narcissist that has lost the will to live.
Will the defense like to cross-examine?
No, Your Honor.
Will the defense call forth their first witness?
Yes, I call forth Nick Carraway.
He may step forth. Now raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated.
How well did you know Jay Gatsby?
He was my neighbor and a really good friend. We became very close. He would invite me to his parties and we would go hydroplaning.
Did you know of Daisy and Jay's love affair beforehand? How did you react?
So yeah, I was the middleman of the whole love affair. I was very supportive of the love affair because I know that Tom hadn't been faithful to my cousin Daisy and she deserved to be loved by a man like Gatsby.
Is it true that you spoke to Gatsby the night of the accident? What exactly did he tell you?
Gatsby seemed a bit hesitant with sparing me the details, but he did say that Daisy was driving to let off some steam and apparently accidentally ran over Myrtle. She didn't know the actual consequence of the accident because everyone was worrying about the argument that took place between Tom and Gatsby.
What happened during the argument?
So Gatsby and Tom were arguing about who Daisy really loved. Gatsby was very passionate and felt that Daisy still loved him the same way he loved her. Daisy was a bit reluctant in the moment, but Gatsby's love blinded him to any signs that she was second-guessing her love.
So, Your Honor, based on Nick's testimony, we can claim that Gatsby was simply a hopeless romantic who revolved his life around Daisy. He sacrificed his own future and even his life for her. He was selfless, and through every action he made, he was only thinking of Daisy. No further questions.
You may sit down.
Also, Your Honor, may I call forth to the stand Jay Gatsby.
He may step forth. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, old sport.
You may be seated.
Were you driving your own car on the day of Merle's death?
Yes.
Isn't it true that Daisy rarely drives by herself and that she is mainly escorted around?
Yeah, Tom mainly drove.
Where were you on the night of Merle's death?
Okay, old sport, let me try to explain what happened that night. So I was the one driving the car. Daisy was right next to me in the passenger seat. I know. Tom said that Daisy was the one driving, but I was in the car. I know what happened. I was driving, and all of a sudden, this woman came running onto the road. I don't know what she was doing. She just came running onto the road, and I didn't have time to react, maybe like a split second, so I ran her over, and I didn't have time to react. Me and Daisy were still worried about what happened before the car ride with the incident with Tom and me, but I didn't have time to react. I was the one driving, and I take full responsibility for what I did, and I totally regret it.
Whether it be Gatsby or Daisy driving the vehicle, either one of them should have stopped. Yet, neither of them did. No further questions.
Will the defense like to cross-examine?
Yes, Your Honor. How true was your love for Miss Buchanan?
My love for Daisy is as real as it gets. I loved her the minute I laid eyes on her 5 years ago. How could that not be true love? The fact that I devoted my entire life for 5 years just to win her back. If I loved a woman just for her wealth and just for her looks, there was plenty of those women.
at right times. But Daisy was unique. Just her whole personality, her whole embodiment of the American dream. I loved her for that. And I did not want to take any other woman, just her. And that's why I dedicated my entire life just for her.
So you were blindly in love with her.
Yeah, I had time to think about my life decisions ever since I died and now living as a ghost reincarnation. That is the only thing I regret, really, is the fact that I did have a lot of passion towards Daisy, don't get me wrong, but it was definitely blind love. I could have loved many other things. I could have let her go because she obviously let go of me. I had time to realize that now. But I was so blindly in love. I don't regret it, per se, because I did enjoy the time that I had with her, but I do regret not loving other things and enjoying life.
Since the love was blind, then you were not in the right mindset at the time and did not fully comprehend what really occurred. The death of Myrtle. You obviously didn't have enough time to react. True love means to love unconditionally. This means there are no exceptions or limitations set. Gatsby should not be charged for second-degree murder because he was blinded by his love for Daisy and would do anything to keep her reputation pure. Thus, this shows that Gatsby is a classic romantic who devoted his life and strong affection for Daisy Buchanan. As stated by Robert Ornstein, Gatsby devotes his life to recapturing a love lost 5 years before, when the present offers nothing to commensurate with man's capacity for wonder. The romantic credo is the belief, Gatsby's relief, in the ability to repeat the disembodied past. He is innocent.
Order to the court. The court is now adjourned. The jury will now examine their notes to reach a verdict.